Welcome back to Any Given Monday. Marcus, how are you, sir? It's a good day. I'm hiding in my bedroom. Monday Q HQ is almost done. I don't even know if I've even talked the fact that we're building a Monday Q HQ. But when that's done, I will stop doing podcasts in my bedroom in front of the bathroom door.
I'm going to miss that baby blue backdrop with the bright white door that matches your hat and hoodie.
Yeah.
It's a great look.
I have like a floating hood. The Dunning.
It's kind of soothing. It almost looks like a nursery you're in.
Yeah, it's like a barn door to our bathroom, but
it is. It's maybe my favorite feature of your house.
Yeah.
There's no lock up. There's no lock on the bathroom door. And
no. I have to lock the
one other
bedroom
bathroom
door
in the house.
Yeah. If you want to be alone in the bathroom, it's a lock the bedroom door situation.
Well, hey, it's good to be with you, Ryan French, on another Friday. I'm Mark Baldwin, and we have a lot to get to today. Some good questions.
Let's start with the hottest topic that has taken Colt Knost has caused a firestorm. I don't know. I'm not sure why Colt Knost. This has been happening forever, so I don't know how Colt Knost, but amateur status. So Colt was on his show, Subpar, great show, been on there. And he said that they were talking about it and he was getting some shit about it and he wasn't going to ever apply for his amateur status. But because he was getting some shit about the discussion or his feelings on it, he is now going to apply. He will get it. For those listening that don't know, you have to, when you play pro golf and you want to get your amateur status back, they based on your last event and how long what your career was and how many years you have to wait. Colt thinks, and he knows Scott Langley, who's on the USGA, former pro, he thinks he's going to have to wait a total of 7 years. He hasn't played a pro event in 5, so a couple more years and he will play. Mark, your thoughts on an amateur Colt Knost, just pros in general, getting back their amateur status.
So I didn't realize that this is like a spite amateur status.
Oh yeah, he wasn't
recapture.
Yeah, he wasn't going to get it, and then
he's just out of spite.
Now he is out of spite getting it. Yes,
it's amazing. Wow. That's such a great fact.
We'll find the clip. I'll find the clip and we'll put it in right here. There. So you put it in.
We probably won't, but I'll just take I'll take your word for it. Yeah, right. As the editor of this show, that's not something I want to do.
Yeah, fair enough.
Plus we have to call them and get the rights to it probably. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's just say that I wanted to start the show with a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, fair.
Okay. I feel like we need to start these. We really to move up in the rankings. We need some conspiratorial content.
I love this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scott Langley.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yes.
Very professional and sharp and goes back with Colt a long way. Former PGA Tour player.
Yeah.
What if Scott Langley was in on this with him?
What? Here, I'm in. I thought this is where you're going. This is where I'm going. Scott Langley it works for the USGA, but doesn't like this rule. Okay. And wants to get it changed. So ask Colt, who has a big platform and a very popular podcast, to say he's getting it back to piss everyone off so the USGA will change the rule.
Because Scott wants to get his amateur status back, and he's using Colt as a front to do this.
Oh, my God. We've figured it out. Colt Knost, if you're listening, we have figured it out, buddy.
We've caught you both. Caught you both.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
all right.
Now that we know what's going on, now we've uncovered the dark secrets.
100%.
And the layers to this.
Probably both getting paid.
Yeah. Okay. I would say that Colt he's waited a long time. if he really does wait 2 more years, like, I don't think he plays that much golf.
No.
And I had a friend a couple of years ago who he's good buddies with Colt, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to go, take on Colt?" And he's like, if you were to go take on Colt, what would you play him for? And I was like, I don't know, and I threw out a number, just like kind of a reasonable, friendly game number.
Yeah.
And this guy's a pro gambler. He's like, really? He's like, you would smash him. He's like, why wouldn't you want to play for more? And I was like, I mean, dude, I'd smash him. Like, he's a former USAM champ, and we're talking about going to play his home course.
Yeah.
He's former PGA Tour player. Like, his resume is way better than mine. I've never played with Colt, so I don't know what his game looks like these days. And my buddy's like, he doesn't really play that much, and like, I would back you fully to go play him for whatever you wanted. So my feeling is, my instinct is like, his game's probably not very sharp,
Right.
And then 2 more years down the road, I mean, I think it's totally fine. But I love that he's caused this shitstorm, and I love that we've uncovered the conspiracy behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's my take is, I mean, Colt was known as a very short hitter when he was playing pro golf. He doesn't grind anymore. It's not like he's on the range. He plays and has a few drinks a couple times a week. Here's the thing. First of all, shouldn't be mad at Colt. Because if you're mad at anyone, you're mad at the USGA for allowing this to happen, right? Like, that's your issue, is that you're allowing this to happen. Second of all, the word amateur is gone now. Like, listen, I like Stu. Stu's been nice to me. But Stu Hegestad works 20 times harder at his game than Colt Knost does. And Stu has never turned pro and always been amateur. And it's allegedly, Stu doesn't work that often. He basically plays golf for a living. The amateur game, there's very few people, if you watch, who wins big amateur tournaments, either college kids, or there's no guy who's like a lawyer who works 40 hours a week and then goes out and play. Like, you can't compete anymore. Part of it is former pros. Part of it is like finance bros who work in the office 15 hours a week, and their job is selling stuff on the golf course. Like, they're paid to play golf, basically. So, yeah, I mean, Colt Knost, I just don't see him winning the Mid-Am. I just don't think it's a big deal. So, yeah, if your issue is with the USGA, not Colt Knost. Like, I think that the rules should be some set of parameters of how much you have earned on a certain tour that ends your chance to be an amateur. Like, if you want to turn pro and you played only mini tours, I have like literally zero problem with that. Or even if you played like a few Corn Ferry events, I think if you play as much on the PGA Tour as Colt did, then you should be able to get your amateur status back to play in member guest if that's a thing where people are like, no, he can't play because he's a pro. But you shouldn't be able to compete for like a spot in the Masters. Again, a lot of guys get their amateur status back so they just can play in member guest because you can't bring a pro. But yeah, I think there should be a cutoff. But my issue is not with Colt Knost. It's with the USGA. And it's not that big of an issue because it is what it is. So
Colt's also, he's 40 years old.
Yeah.
40, and let's say this takes 2 to 3 years. He's going to be 43.
Yeah.
Having spent the 3 years probably hanging out and doing podcasts and not walking golf courses. Like, he's going to be spending most of his matches 40 yards behind the fresh mid-ams, most of the guys who are coming straight out of, I mean, I guess they wouldn't be really coming straight out of college, but a lot of guys who were really great AMs that decided not to turn pro. So I don't know. I mean, I just think that what's factored into the equation is how much money you made how long were you a pro? What level did you reach? I think those things are all already taken into account. It's going to have been a long time, and he's going to be, more closer to senior eligibility than he is, the beginning of mid-am eligibility by the time he's ready to play. So, I mean, maybe we'll regret this in 2029 or 2028 when he's in the Masters, but
that would be hilarious if he was in the Masters. The uproar would be.
And look, if that's the case, we'll return to this pod and we will apologize.
Yeah. I'm just looking up. I know he's one of the shortest hitters in Tour. I'm trying to look up and see where he averaged. He was one of the shortest for sure. He's like 265, 270 off the tee at one time. I don't see his stats, but yeah, I mean, he's short. And it is, here you go. In 2016, the longest driver of the ball in stats on the PGA Tour was J.B. Holmes, 314 yards. Last was Colt Knost, 269.7. Dead last in driving distance. And
what was Colt's best finish on tour?
That's a good question.
I mean, back when he played too, guys weren't chasing speed then.
Yeah.
So much has changed. I mean, I played with Brandon Harkins in first stage last week, and we talked about just in the last 5 years how much better the Korn Ferry Tour has become. Yeah. And he has the stats that bear that out. But I think you get that sense and that feeling when you're playing out there. And just like seeing the names that are back in first stage, players who have nearly won, who have had really successful seasons on Korn Ferry Tour in the past 3 years. The game has just changed so much in the past 5 or 6 years since Colt hung it up.
Yeah. He had how many career top tens? Hold on. He had 4 third-place finishes. That was his best. Played 199 PGA Tour events. Made a little less than half of his cuts. 9 top 10s. Made $4.3 million. I forgot he retired after the 2020 Waste Management. Middle of the season. Where'd he go? Yeah. Colt knows if he gets his amateur career, his status back. He's not. He is, and it's not.
Did he mention what his handicap is right now?
He did not. I didn't hear it. He might have, but yeah. I mean, it's quite funny, the uproar. I don't care. Good for him.
There was a former Korn Ferry winner who commented on one of your posts recently who said that he had long retired. He's been maybe retired for 6 or 7 years. And he said that he was a +3. And he said that he still shoots, 69, 70 regularly, but he just can't shoot really low anymore.
That was Brad Fritch on the
that was Brad. Yeah. Okay. And that's what really, that is the ability that really is elusive for him. So, I would say that, Brad and Colt probably had fairly similar games.
Yeah, 100%. And like Brad said, again, this doesn't help you in the mid-am. That's what everybody's about. The people who are going to be mad that Colt has his amateur status left is like the member guest, because a +3 and a member guest, like Brad and I talked about this on the pod, is like, I'm a 3, but for 14 holes in a regular day, I hit it like a scratch. And so like in an alternate shot or in a best ball situation, I'm the partner you want, right? Like we can really ham and egg the hell out of a course. And so Brad's like, yeah, I make a lot of birdies. And if I'm playing in a member guest, people are going to be really pissed, because we were talking about the Brendan DeYoung situation. Brendan went and played in a member guest at like a +1 or something and shot 67 or something. So yeah, you might be mad at Colt Knost because he's a +2 and comes and wins your member guest, but I would guess he's not going to compete. He's a very good player. I would guess he's not going to compete in the mid-am. And if you're mad about that, wait till I tell you about all the guys who don't really work and are quote unquote an amateur. So
I think it would be satisfying to watch him hammer some trust fund kid that's never really worked and has a title on Wall Street. That would be kind of fun.
That would be great. That would be great. All right, Mark, let's get to the questions.
Sure. Let me ask you this. Do you think the tour as a whole does a poor job advertising the KFT finals and chase for the PGA Tour, considering how life-changing a card is for these guys? It's 1,000 times more compelling TV than Eastlake.
Yes. I've talked often about this. The PGA Tour might be the worst thing they do. They do a very poor job. I use Johnny Kiefer often in this, let's go back to Will Zalatoris. Will Zalatoris, Mark played, I caddied in Will Zalatoris' last Korn Ferry event prior to him getting thing. Like, the guy was a star. He's obviously battled injuries. Heard he's coming back, which is great, in December. Hopefully gets back to it because he's so good. But it was COVID, so then the US Open they didn't have open qualifying, and they took like 3 Korn Ferry guys or something like that. And then Will finished 6th. And everybody, the general golf population, not golf Twitter, but like the general golf population was, who is Will Zalatoris? And I was like, what? That is, the PGA Tour has failed. Like, Will Zalatoris has been the best player in the country, or one of the best players in the country, since he was 10 years old. And he was dominant on the Korn Ferry Tour. And all of your resources, I've said this to the commissioner at a table in the Bahamas. All of their resources should go to marketing the players. That's it. That's their only job. Doesn't mean you don't tell what's happening in an event. Doesn't mean you don't, those are not important. Your job is to market it. And I'll use Johnny Kiefer as an example. This goes much deeper than that, Mark, is like, Ricky Fowler and Jordan Spieth are getting exemptions is because sponsors don't know about anyone else. They rightfully so are asking about Ricky. Now, Ricky had a great end of the season, but prior to that, we're talking multiple years in a row, he hasn't played well. And sponsors are still like, yep, because they don't know the people who are coming up. They're not marketed well. Like, Johnny Kiefer, as I've said many times, is talked about like no one that I have heard talked about in the 8 years I've covered. He should be getting at least a few exemptions to do the work of marketing. Like, when he's leading in the Sony, no one should be saying, who is Johnny Kiefer? Like, we should all know who the hell Johnny Kiefer is. He's very literally, yes, the OWGR, it's not great. He's literally fit. He's going to get into the Masters possibly by playing America's and Korn Ferry Tour. It's only happened once ever before. So, yeah, I had that conversation with Zach Bochu. It's on me too that I didn't know Zach's story. It'll be out Monday. But that's the tour's job, is as Zach is getting his card, tell his story. Like, it's insane that a person who just 4 years ago was literally shooting 100, could not keep a ball on the planet, and is now getting his PGA Tour card. It's the only job of the Korn Ferry Tour, and I don't think they do a great job of it.
We've talked about this before. The people that are there are trying.
Yes.
But they don't have the resources to do it.
100%.
They have a tiny media team. They don't have
100%.
many writing about these stories. They have brief TV times towards the end of the season. So they do have that TV show, kind of like little, I want to say it's like 30-minute segments, a few times a year, but they have limited resources to do it. I mean, they really should just make you a legitimate offer and find some other like-minded people like you and Kevin Price and, just wind you up and let you go.
Yeah.
Mentioning Johnny Kiefer, another question we have is who will have the better season next year? Neil Shipley, Johnny Kiefer, Marco Penge?
I'm on the Kiefer train, so it's going to be Johnny. I would assume. I mean, really, the tour is dropping the ball if he doesn't get some exemptions here in the fall, because he is 51st in OWGR. He has to be in the top 50 by the end of the year to get in the Masters. And so if he doesn't play, obviously that's not going to happen. Please tell me that the tour is smart enough to make that a storyline as also a rising star in events that aren't going to get a lot of attention. So if he doesn't get some, we've lost the plot. But that leads me into another question of any incentive for Korn Ferry guys to go play on other tours. There's not a ton, especially guys that graduate, but let's talk about Johnny Kiefer. If for some reason, and again, if he didn't, we've lost the plot, but if he didn't get exemptions, he could go play Asian Tour, DP World Tour. Those would be the main two that have enough points for him to get into and stay in the top 50. So there's not a ton of, if a Korn Ferry guy who doesn't have his card was offered a DP spot, yeah, definitely. And if they want to stay sharp, it doesn't hurt to go over there and play an Asian event or whatever. But there's no real incentive, no OWGR incentive. It's not going to improve anything if they have their card. But a lot of Korn Ferry guys don't take this much time off from now until January when Sony starts. So they could definitely go over there and sharpen their game. But no, but Kiefer would have, again, assuming he doesn't get some PGA Tour exemptions, would have a huge incentive to go play somewhere else.
Yeah, and seeing all of the players over in India this week. First of all, that course is wild. Bowling alley holes, yeah. The thickest of trees, cobras in the forests.
Did it remind you of China, playing in China, Mark?
Just Asia. Yeah, just south. Yeah. There's just a lot of golf courses like that in Asia.
Mm-hmm.
And yes,
was China, Korea like that?
Korea was like that, not as heavily forested, but a lot of internal out of bounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'd say it's pretty typical of Asian golf. And especially the Asian Tour is playing in Macau this week. And there was a course we played in Macau that was as narrow as it gets, out of bounds everywhere. It was windy, it was on the water. And if you were to be hitting it sideways, you wouldn't break 85. You'd just be reloading. Like Zach Boshu, when he was at his point of yips, would have shot 100. He wouldn't have finished. He would have lost all his golf balls.
Couldn't have carried enough golf balls.
Seeing all the content, seeing Victor Hovland, I wrote today that he's the embodiment of the Ted Lasso, be curious mantra, be curious, not judgmental. It's just fun to follow these guys around as they're experiencing tuk-tuks and, Indian street food and the ways of life of Asia. It's kind of fun. It has definitely, in case my wife is listening, I'm definitely not looking at Asian Tour Q School applications based on this. Definitely not. Not interested at all in continuing to play.
Yeah. You came home from first stage. Mark missed it first stage. It was like, yeah, that is it. Is it? Your last paragraph, I was like, yeah, 100%. He's still in. Doesn't mean he's going to grind. Doesn't mean, but Q School comes around next year.
Well, I'll say this, that I did my taxes recently, and I was pleasantly surprised by how well this year has gone.
Yeah.
Compared to past years. And so I just kind of dropped this little nugget on my wife, hey, just financially, the mini tours are going much better than they have in past years. Maybe I'm not quite ready to hang it up because this is actually paying for stuff this year.
Yeah. You did, if you had gotten through Q School, it was a dream mini tour season, right? Every time you played, you netted profit. It's unheard of. Unheard of. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
So, yeah, it's one of the few years it's one of the few times you're like, oh my gosh, like, uh, what a thing. Like, yeah, you got to keep going. Anyway.
God, it would be such great content for you and I to go over there, to take you to Asia.
Oh,
for you to ride in your first tuk-tuk and have that on video, man. That would be great Monday Q content.
Food would be, listen, I'm a pretty easygoing guy. I can deal with a lot of stuff. Like, if you were like, hey, Ryan, we're going to stay in this guy's living room, he's a Korean mobster. Mark will tell the Korean mob story. He's told it before many times, but one day he will tell this story again because it's amazing. But I would be like, yeah, okay, I'm in. But the food, dude, the food would be rough for me. I'm like a burger, steak, potatoes type guy. Like, this is Mark. When we're on the road and I'm kidding, Mark's like, let's go to, the Egyptian thing in the corner. I'm like, no, dude, can we just go to McDonald's? Is that possible? Like,
the last time that I was in Asia, I want to say it was maybe 2019. I went to Asian Q school, and it was in Hua Hin in Thailand. And I was a few off the number going into the final day, and it was early. I think it was a Sunday, but it was also an Asian holiday. And my good friend Keegan Rice was with me, and he is the most well-traveled person that I know. We were staying kind of out in the middle of nowhere. We were on the beach, and there weren't any taxis around. I mean, within a couple of miles of the road, and it was just the most quiet morning. And I had scheduled a taxi every morning to the golf course, but this morning it didn't show. They weren't answering, and there was no one around to talk to. Everyone we called was completely not working. So Keegan just goes, okay, we've got, an hour and 15 minutes before you tee off, after we waited for, 30 minutes to get a hold of someone. And he just takes off running down the street. I want to say we waited another maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Now, at this point, I have assumed that I'm not making this tee time.
Right.
This is kind of the end, because it was too far to walk from the golf course. It was maybe a 20-minute drive. And all of a sudden, I'm just about to write off my prospects of earning an Asian card. I see like a old Land Cruiser coming in the distance, and it comes through, and I see Keegan stick his entire upper torso out of the window, and the horn starts honking, and it rips in and it pulls in, and Keegan's laughing hysterically. I get in the car. There's an Asian man in his underpants, and
yes.
He's like, all right, here we go. This guy does not speak English, but he's generous. Well, he generously offered to drive you. I don't know if he knows where we're going, but he did get in the car and take me here. So we're just going to have to direct him. Guy didn't speak any English. Keegan just started knocking on doors at a random neighborhood. A guy answered in his underpants. He communicated that it was an emergency and he needed a ride.
Yeah.
And directed the guy to pick us up. And the guy generously got us to the golf course just in time. I mean, I had like 6 minutes to spare.
Unbelievable.
Went to the tee. I birdied my first hole.
Unbelievable.
I never even heard that. It was all downhill from there.
Yeah. It reminds me that you should just have Keegan on as the podcast. Keegan's got some unbelievable stories. It would break the internet. It's not golf related. Some of it, golf's intertwined in there. But I know 1/100th of the stories of Keegan. It would be a great podcast. Man, what a story. I've never heard that one. I don't think.
It just came to mind when I tweeted
great.
that most great and wild Asian stories start in a tuk-tuk.
One person asked Mark, he talked about getting juniors noticed. Don't know enough about it. But the last question was tip for juniors to improve their game. As the pro, top junior, good junior, what is he or she need to do what would you have them focus on if you were their coach?
This is what I'm doing with my son, and it's really hard. He's only 5, but I think regardless of kind of what age a junior player is, it's hard to take any sort of help, accept help or information about the golf swing from your parents. So I'm trying to get other kids interested in the game, other kids that are his friends, and get their parents to take them out to the driving range when Miles wants to go. Because if there's one thing that I can recommend to parents of junior golfers, it is find friends that want to go spend the day out there with your kid.
Yeah.
And make it fun. So that they want to get up in the morning at 0 dark 30 and get to the course and putt for hours and play matches and hit balls for a long time and then wait all day until they can, finally get out on the golf course in between adult groups. Make it fun so that they want to go learn.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great starting point.
Yeah, I'll take this from a basketball perspective or a sports general perspective. Our son Jackson, not born with a lot of athletic skill, loves the game of basketball and works his ass off to be better. Every day he's out in our driveway. He does it for a half an hour before we go to school at 8 a.m. The kid loves basketball. I was trying to teach him as I played basketball, but I tried to teach him. And I was like, did I listen to my dad? Right? Is understand that your kids don't want to listen to you. And so me being directly involved in Jack's basketball life is not good for Jack's basketball. And so I reached out to there's not a ton of resources in Alpena. It's not like you can go find an individual basketball coach. So I just sent the Alpena High basketball coach a message. He follows me on Twitter and was like, hey man, my kid doesn't want to listen to me, understandably. Is there any resources? He's like, dude, have him come to practice. We start November 12th. He can be our water boy. I was like, done. So that's it. Is nope. Every parent that that is directly involved in any kid's sports life is the crazy parent. So if you are the coach and the putting coach and the swing coach, you're the crazy parent. That's it. That's all there is to it. We all as parents are disciplining, yelling, coaching our kids every day. They don't want to listen to you in a sport. Doesn't mean you can't be involved, can't be there to be supportive, give pointers. I know a little basketball, so I give Jack pointers. So that would be my advice. Don't be his everything in golf or hers in any sport. That's all there is to it.
I was listening to a podcast with Michelle Wee recently, and her daughter, I think she said is 7. And, her daughter's 5. The host asked her, if you want to specialize in a sport and set your child up on a trajectory to be a professional golfer, at what age would you do that? And she said 7, which struck me as early. But she said her daughter is hitting balls at 5 years old for 2 hours a day until her hands bleed. I don't think, look, everyone has their own parenting style. I don't think that's what I want my son doing. But you know what? He's probably never going to reach the tour.
Yeah. Jack's, I said to the coach, I said in there, Jack doesn't have a ton of ability. It's going to come back. It's back. Well, I'm back. Mark's not back. Mark's
okay,
back.
You were frozen there for a moment.
Yeah, I think it still records. I was talking to the high school coach about Jack. Jack has gone to this coach's camp. And I was like, hey, man, he's not gifted athletically, but works his butt off. And he replied, Jack worked his butt off. Yeah, we know. He's not athletic gifted, Ryan. But that, again, I want my kid to enjoy sports and understand that the reality of getting a Division III scholarship is almost zero. So just go in with that expectation, and that's the difference. Is at what expense? any kid hitting balls at 70, like Jack practices his ass off, but 80% of that time he's fucking around, like, and rightfully so. He's 10, right? Like he wants to play pig, and like I give him defensive drills to work on and all of that stuff. I mean, he does that. Good for him for 10 minutes, but he's not going to be out there like grinding on the range. He wants to have a putting contest or a shooting contest, whatever. So, yeah, just let your kid have fun. He's not going to the tour, dude. Like, that's it. That's all there is to it.
I mean, Jack could be the Rudy of Michigan State.
Yeah. I said to the coach, I said, if Jack can average 8 points a game and set a mean pick for the high school team, we have done well. He is born with his mother's smarts, great, and his mother's athletic skills, not great. So, yeah.
All right.
I hope Jack has a great career at Alpena High School.
Speaking of Jack and basketball,
yeah, sure.
If the Pistons were a golfer, who would they be?
Oh, that's so good. I am going to say that's a good question. If they were, I'm going to say Sean McKeel.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sean McKeel. The East is wide open this year, okay? Tatum is hurt. Halliburton is hurt. Pistons are like the young up-and-coming team, but no one really expects everything. They might surprise some people. They might win the NBA championship this year, right? And that might be it. That might be then. That it's the right year, right? Like the East has some of the best players gone. Very like no one knows who's going to win the East. Then you get to the NBA championship. If you're lucky enough to get through the East, got to play a great series. Like Sean McKeel had a good career, had a fine career. Was a good PGA Tour player. Played well, got himself into the PGA Championship, and played great at the right time. He will always be a major champion. Did he do anything after that? No, he did not. So this Pistons team this year, maybe a better example would be like KJ Choi, because the Pistons have some very good parts. So I'd say KJ Choi might win one championship. This might be it.
Okay. I mean, your expectations are pretty optimistic. Dude, I know they're good. I know they've got like a solid core, and I know that they made the playoffs last year for the first time in like 20 years.
The biggest turnaround in NBA history.
I mean, they got momentum, right? And
the East is wide open.
Big upside. Okay, well, how about a modern player like Joel Damon? Are we saying maybe Joel?
Yeah.
He's a player for the last decade.
Yeah, a Max Grazerman.
Okay.
Like a Max
real up and comer.
Yeah. They have a lot of good young pieces.
Speaking of Max, who finished second in Japan this week.
Yeah.
Somebody who made it through Q school last year, the Japanese player, Takumi Kaniya, he finished fourth.
Yeah.
This week in Japan, which that was part of that was one question that we got about who succeeded and who excelled the most through Q school. Which I think the answer up until this week would have been Lanto.
Who got through? Yeah. It would be Lanto. Everyone else really struggled.
What about Corn Ferry Tour would have been Smo, right? Smotherman.
Yeah.
He finished third on the list, and he went through Q school last year.
Yeah. Kiefer came through America's Tour. Shipley came through. Yeah, probably Smo. Yeah. I mean, and that was a huge week. It actually brings into another thing. Kenyatta got a sponsor exemption. Now he's like 115th in points. Brings up like a limited field event in the middle of fall, which is marketed as keep your card, is pretty wild. And an exemption like that can very literally change your career. Mark, the best golf shot you have ever hit that is not a hole-in-one.
I made a couple of double eagles. I made one in a member guest that was pretty awesome. Threw it up on a back slope and just watched it slowly trickle in. I holed out a wedge in the 3M championship on the 4th of July that made Sports Center top 10. I think it was number 2.
Yeah.
Threw a chest bump to my good buddy Eric Deutsch, who was on the bag for me. That was pretty awesome. I did hit a dead shank on the very next hole into the water. It was quite a 25 minutes there.
Yeah, that's a wild turn.
Talk about, an emotional roller coaster.
I can't believe you're not mentioning the one that. Oh, go on, keep going.
The other one I think of is Corn Ferry. Late Saturday, I was playing the final group with Martin Trainer. I hit it in the water on the final hole in Springfield. Found it. It was like up on the bank. I had to play it backwards onto the 9th hole on the 9th green.
Yeah.
On the fringe, downslope. I had to play a 70-yard shot over the water to a pin that was tucked just like 4 paces on the other side of the water off of this super tight fringe. And massive gallery, probably the biggest gallery I had played in front of. And I hit, I was just praying I didn't chunk it in the water or blade it back into the gallery.
Yeah.
Blade would have been preferable.
Yeah.
Somehow I managed to nip it perfectly and got it up and down. That was remarkable.
Dude, 16 at Barracuda. I'm not going to wait anymore.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Mark's on the cut line. Might have been one. It's a point system, but we needed birdie for sure, right? I think we did. You were 1 behind the cut line?
I was 1 shy of the cut line.
1 point.
1 point shy of the cut line with 3 to play.
And it's, I think, 395, obviously at elevation, and there's the down at it was downhill at the green, meaning it was pretty flat overall, but you could hit it on this downslope. And you can't see the green. And there's not a lot of fans at the Barracuda, but if there's a hole, they have a little mini hospitality tent behind 16. There's probably like 100 people back there. And Mark just smoked a drive at the green, but basically everything funnels into this front bunker. So then there would have been a great spot. We would have been ecstatic about it. We assumed it might have been there until the group, everyone cheered. And it's just very rare. Even I go back to your shot on 12. 12 is a par 5. I think they've switched the 9, so it's 3 now, but 12 is a par 5. Mark hits this like 8-iron as a second shot. You have to carry these trees, and we carry it. Do you remember that? And you hit it up there, and no one cheered, and we're like, oh, must have missed the green. We thought it was good, and went up there. It was like 25 feet away, and we're like, dude, I just sliced an 8-iron around these trees. Anyway, back to 16. They cheered, and we were like, oh, that must be good. And it was like 15 feet.
Yeah.
You missed the putt, but it was like, oh, we're going to make 2 points here regardless. 5 maybe. And under pressure when you have an exemption. And it's like, oh, it was a whatever you made that week, $10,000, $15,000 putt. Shot because you 2-putted. And it was 309. I think it was 395 or something like that. To 15 feet is pretty good.
Yeah, that gets me charged up.
One of the best shots I've ever hit just happened. 8 at River's Edge is a dog leg that is it's short, but it's also difficult. It's trees, and the dog leg doesn't really make sense from a par 5 anyway. I always hit it through the fairway, straight ahead. I did that. And I had like 225, and it was such a ridiculous shot to even attempt, but we were playing a team game as we always do on our men's night. And I was like, oh, I didn't even look at the yardage. I just knew from playing the whole bunch, it was roughly this. I had hit like a 30-yard hook, and I hit it to 8 feet. It was insane. And it really spoke to like, if you just don't care, Mark says it all the time. If you could just bottle up, not giving a fuck, you would be really good. Like, could care less where that ball went because it's wide open no matter what. If I didn't hook it, I would have had like a wedge from the other fairway in, whatever. So, and second of all, we were playing a team game and I didn't care. And just like snap hooked this ball around ran it in between the bunkers to like 8 feet, made eagle. And I get a stroke on that hole. It was an albatross. Yeah, that's it. Mark, do you have any more?
Let's lead this question into a different topic, but I think it's an interesting conversation, which is, what changes did the Champions Tour make to eligibility ranking after eliminating Q School? I don't know the answer to that.
I reached out to the tour about it, but go ahead. No.
Well, why don't you answer that question? Because I don't know the answer, but I want to transition that into another topic.
The answer is there is no answer. The tour has not decided. The pack has to decide that, and they have not yet. But there will be changes, obviously, because there's 5 guys who aren't getting into the event. So how that changes, they don't know yet. That's the answer.
Okay, so I want to mention that something you tweeted about this maybe last week. Charlie Belgian gave up his PGA Tour membership to play in the grass league for the Scottsdale Strikers. Charlie Belgian won in, I want to say, 2013. And so he's a PGA Tour winner. I guess that's not enough so that he would have Champions Tour eligibility, right?
That's a good, yeah. No, I mean, definitely not, because a lot of PGA Tour winners don't get it. Yeah, you have to be a certain amount of starts and so I'm not great at Champions, but yes,
Yeah.
he definitely would not have Champions status.
Because he obviously determined that he's probably got another 7 years before Champions Tour, but he obviously determined that either the Champions Tour wouldn't be around then, or he wasn't going to get any benefit to being a member when his opportunity came on the Champions Tour. But it's kind of crazy that he gave up his membership. I mean, and it's not crazy on his part. It's crazy that he's not allowed to go play wherever he wants when he hasn't gotten into a tournament for years, and he's got no prospect of playing again.
We can do a whole pod on this, but again, here let me break this down for people, because people listening and go, it's video rights. Yeah, it's video rights. I get it, and I'm not saying that PGA. I'm not on the side. There's people who are like, they should be able to play when they want. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. I don't believe that if a guy wants to go play live, a competitor, that a PGA Tour member should be allowed to do that. I don't believe that. No problem. If you're not in the event, no way. Now, there is some truth, like you can't be an independent contractor when the PGA Tour wants you to, and then not. But to restrict someone like Charlie, we'll just talk about the grass league in itself. They denied America's Tour players, Korn Ferry players, and guys like Charlie and Champions Tour players from playing in these events. First of all, we are talking about a nighttime par 3 league where the winning check is $10,000 split between 2 people. It's a beer league, dude. Like
split between 2 people and a team.
Oh, that's right.
4 ways.
Your take home is going to be like $1,500. Okay. Now they do a good job. There's like music and whatever. There's hospitality tents, but it's recreational golf. It's like there is much bigger purses on many tours. There's much bigger purses at skins games at a lot of clubs. Like this is nothing. It's nothing.
You make way more than most member guests across America.
Yes. And it's on Peacock. They pay for it to have Peacock. That's the issue of the media rights. We're talking, I think they had 3 events last year. 4? I think at max.
They have 3 this year.
Yeah.
They only had 1 last year.
Yeah, sorry. 3. It's insane. So here's how it works. A great example is this week, or last week, sorry. Sung Jae played on the Asian Tour. He got a waiver. That's what happens. You apply for a waiver, and they give it. For most events, sometimes they deny the waivers. Understandably, you can apply for a waiver to go play live. They will turn it down. I get it. Asian Tour wasn't during a PGA Tour event that Sung Jae was in. It's his home country. No problem. They signed for it. But it happens all the time. What?
we'll say home continent, not home country, but
yeah, sorry, home continent. Like it's happens all the time. All the time. Guys used to go play. I remember the Dunlap Phoenix on the Japan tour. Don't know why I remember it, but every year it was the off season when they didn't have a fall. It would be filled with PGA Tour guys because they were getting an appearance fee, large appearance fee. They would get a waiver and they would go. It happens all the time. How does Charlie Belgian? The problem is, this is my opinion. We haven't talked to Charlie. We will eventually. Is like they're making a point. They're making an example of a guy they know cannot fight back. Do you think if Rory McIlroy wanted to play in the grass league, they're telling him no? Like, no, they're not. Because it's Charlie, they want to make an example of him. It's insane. It's insane. Like,
I would love to test that theory. It would be great to get a top player.
Great?
Like Wyndham Clark is an owner of one of the teams.
Wyndham Clark is an owner.
It would be interesting if Wyndham decided to be an owner player and see what they said.
I wonder if Wyndham has tried to play. Has tried to play.
That's a question we could probably get to the bottom of. Yes, I think your point is a good one. And I don't know why they just can't. Why it's not even an exception. Why can't you just have thresholds? Like getting back to our first question of the day for amateur status. Why can't there be thresholds? Like if you made this amount, if you played on this tour, you have to wait this long, right? And you have these tiers. Same thing with, look, if the purse is over this and you've achieved this, you know, here are the rules for you. If the purse is $100,000 or less, and it's not conflicting with anything you're going to be doing for the PGA Tour, why is it a problem? I mean, it's just so small and it doesn't affect the tour at all.
Charlie could play in a DP World Tour event, Asian Tour event, no problem. He can't play in the grass league, a night par 3 course. It's insane. Like, and more to the point of, I think Charlie's made a pretty good living from golf. America's tour guys not being able to play on these teams is insane. Like insane. Like
that's the larger point is the players who have conditional status on Americas or Korn Ferry that don't get any starts that need places to play, that need reps and need to be able to make a little bit of money, like in their hometown.
And we're pointing to media rights. Their media rights are worth $0, dude. Zero. You'll never make money from Patrick Flavin until he gets to the PGA Tour and wins. Like it doesn't matter. Like the guy lives in Arizona. Let him go play the fucking par 3 league, and if he wins, make $2,000 take home, which would be valuable to him. Like, is that really what we're doing? That's what we're doing. Like, it's just, it's like you can't give that person and that. Yeah, they do it all the time, dude. They just did it. Like Sungjae just went and played the Asian Tour. Like, what do you mean you can't do it? They deny some and they say yes to others. They do it all the time. Like, it blows my mind. Like, again, I am not the guy who was like, Charlie Belgian should be allowed to play live when he wants and then play PGA. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. I understand that, guys, this is a competitor. They have to make a choice. Tour, they get incentives from the tour. Not disputing that. Charlie Belgian hasn't played an event in 3 years, and he hasn't played a full schedule in probably 8. No one cares about Charlie Belgian.
He's gone through the process of getting his PGA, I think, Class A certification. Like he's teaching now, you know.
The guy is on the range at Mark's club all the time.
He's in a different phase of his life.
Also, on the champions side of it, I don't know how old Charlie is. I would guess, like you, Mark, probably. I would guess in the range you were going to guess is 43. That dude is the guy that if he kept in his shape as he is now, which you would assume he is because the guy's ripped, that when he got to 50 is the exact guy they're eliminating by not having Q school. Is like Tag and himself are like still can hit it pretty long. Charlie plays in mini tour events with these guys and still competes every once in a while. Like he's the guy that Q school is keeping out. He would 100% be it if assuming he can keep in shape as he is now. when he gets to 50, he would be like a good person to be, not surprising to have a good run.
Well, at least that Tommy Gainey got in there in time,
Tommy, old Tommy.
2 gloves.
Man, every time I say, like, this is only going to be half an hour. And I love this pod. I love this pod.
It's always good to hang out with you.
Yeah,
and that's why I think this pod is gaining popularity and growing, is because people like to hang out with you.
Yeah, I agree. I appreciate it. I like to hang out with you guys. I think that's it. I'm going to go work on Monday QHQ. Go on a serious note. Go listen to Dayton Price podcast. There is no better story in golf.
And the article that you wrote today.
Yeah.
MondayQ.com, a great article.
Yeah, Mark wrote about his Q school and what it's like to miss, and some other players. Brandon Harkins, who was in contention with Tiger not that long ago, is missed at Q school, and the joys, in quotations.
I just thought about this too. And I tried to provide some sort of like mosaic of players who missed that I played with. Nobody from the groups that I played with in first stage made it through.
Yeah.
I left out the guys who I played with in the final round. But it was that final 9 is the golf equivalent of a death march.
That is a death march. I've been on the bag for you at second stage when you've missed, and man, it is uncommon.
One guy in my group who has DP World Tour status, he has conditional out there, full challenge tour. He cold topped one with 10 holes to play off the tee. Cold topped it. I mean, it went 50 yards in the bushes. And then he tried to fly it onto maybe a 340-yard green, hit 2 in the shit, like had no chance of covering. Lost those balls. Dude shot 80.
Wow.
Like that final 9 holes was a slog.
Yeah. All right. Hey, I was going to add this. I'll add this. This challenge going around, and can your wife name 30 players?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Here, my wife sends me a text this morning. It says, the challenge is to have your wife name 30 golfers. I made it to 20 in the time it took for my second cup of coffee to brew. And I guarantee you no one has more obscure players than my wife. So quickly, first name, which is really wild, Patrick Reed. Like, I never talk about Patrick Reed. That's wild. Kenny Knox, Corey Connors, obviously, Mark Baldwin, Tom Whitney, John Daly, John Rahm. She has the hots for John Rahm. Rory, Phil, Tiger, Christina Kim, the nice woman who told you to buy a clothing steamer. That's Morgan Pressel. Thank you, Morgan. Michelle Kim, Michael Kim, the blonde mean lady. I'll tell you who that is off of the thing. Matthias Gronberg. I know
who that is.
Matthias Gronberg. I don't know if I've told this story. I'm sure I have, but if I haven't, I will tell it. My wife is a saint. She never gets mad at me. I mean, never, very rarely gets mad at me. And she was 8.5 months pregnant with Annie. She was as big as a house. She's not having fun. This is the middle of summer. I went and played golf with Michael Rush, Matthias Gronberg. This is before the account. So this is super wild. Like, out of the blue, Michael Rush, who I knew, who eventually owned a mini tour. Matthias Gronberg, who's won on the European tour multiple times. And the doctor from Oprah. There's this African-American guy who's a doctor, and Michael was pitching him something. Somehow I got involved. And so my wife says to me as I'm walking out the door, and she never says stuff like this, is whatever happens, no one can sleep on our couch. Just I've invited people to sleep on our couch often, and it's never a problem. And I was like, yeah, no problem. We get to the end. We played at Olympia Fields in Chicago. And then Matthias Gronberg, who owns a house in Monaco, Like, this man is wealthy. Is like, I don't want to pay for a hotel. Their flight was like 8:00 at night, and their flight took off from O'Hare at like 5 a.m. And it's just automatic. I go, oh, you can stay at my house. And he did. Matthias Grunberg slept on my couch in a tiny little apartment in Chicago. The guy has a house in Monaco. Like, the guy is very wealthy.
I mean, it's only fair that he let you sleep on his couch, right?
No,
you got to reciprocate.
And my wife was so mad. That's why she had Matthias Grunberg on thing. Ryan Yip, CD Hockersmith, next on the list. CD will be happy to know Scotty Scheffler, and Morikawa, and then Mr. Gonzalez, Emilio Gonzalez, who you just had the pod. So she did that in 1 cup of brewed coffee. She's become a golf nerd.
The caffeine hadn't even hit yet. Just imagine if it had.
Man, it's good times. Mark, it's a great pod. I love it. Look forward to next Fridays. Monday, Zach Bochu, awesome pod. Next week, all next week on the pods, maybe even Friday. We might skip 1 week of Q&A. We'll just see who we have a lot of Korn Ferry grad interviews. Are awesome. Just did John Vanderland along with his wife, because the last time I interviewed them, they had just lost a big lead in the Bahamas, and they were very emotional, obviously quite different. Jeffrey Kang, Emilio Gonzalez. Who else am I missing, Mark? But Zach on Monday, Zach Bochu, and Zach is. We're
gonna have Chandler Blanchet as well.
Oh, yeah.
But everyone, tune in. We've got some great pods. We're back to doing them regularly, 3 days a week, and send us your feedback too. Like, we want to know whether people are enjoying it, whether people have ideas for segments. If there's something that isn't quite resonating, send feedback to mondayqinfo@gmail.com, or my email is markbaldwingolf@gmail.com. Ryan, great being with you. Thanks for the hang. Enjoy the afternoon, everybody, and have a great weekend.
See ya.